Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway announced a high-powered deal late yesterday. Literally, the company's MidAmerican energy unit will buy Nevada's largest utility company, NV Energy, for $5.6 billion, creating the nation's largest energy company by number of customers. When I spoke to Buffett just a few weeks ago at the Berkshire Hathaway's annual meeting, he actually hinted that a big deal might be in the works.
It's too much anytime we have more than $20 billion, but that doesn't mean we're going to spend it just because we have it. But we would like, our ideal level is around $20 billion.
Well, with me now is Bloomberg reporter Noah Buhayar, who covers Warren Buffett with me and all of his deals. And in this case, his deal maker is Greg ABEL here. And as you mentioned in your story, I mean, this is really sort of a kind of a vote of confidence for Greg, isn't it?
Well, certainly we know historically that MidAmerican, the unit that Greg ABEL runs, has been very acquisitive, even before Berkshire Hathaway owned it.
Well, that's how they grow.
Certainly, yeah. Certainly. So Greg ABEL has been really instrumental along the way in really executing these deals, helping integrate them into the larger MidAmerican Energy holding company, and Buffett has been encouraging along the way.
Right, encouraging, allowing him to allocate that capital. So what did Greg tell you when you talked to him on the phone yesterday? What did he tell you about how this company fits in with the MidAmerican portfolio? Well,
you know, he repeated a lot of things that you hear a lot from Berkshire, is that they like the management, they like the assets that NV Energy has, and he just sees it fitting in. And you know, one of the things that was interesting he told me last night was that really MidAmerican had expressed interest in NV Energy going back some time, and they had done follow-up on it, and really it was that interest that sparked this transaction that came together in the last couple of weeks.
Right, in just the last few weeks, and so it was a pretty quick transaction then?
Right, that's what Mr. ABEL told me.
Okay. And now, does this leave more room, or leave how much room for Buffett? Because as we know, he's got billions on his balance sheet for more acquisitions.
Right. Well, it's a little unclear what the financing for this transaction is going to be. It's got a $5.6 billion cash component. There's some assumption of debt. MidAmerican has some of its own funds. They've also got a $2 billion equity commitment from Berkshire, excuse me, and they've gone to the bond markets in the past. They go to the bond markets just to finance their operations. Yeah. I asked Greg ABEL what his plans were on that front, and he declined to comment. He declined,
of course. It was interesting because, you know, Greg ABEL took over from David Sokol, and, you know, David Sokol was sort of more of an out-there CEO, and that generated more interest and more news out, or focus on MidAmerican. It's been kind of quiet since Sokol left, and this is sort of one of the first times, and as you mentioned, it's an acquisitive company, one of the first times you're really focused again on MidAmerican.
Right, maybe quiet from the standpoint of, you know, going out in press.
Yes.
But listen, this is a company that's struck some pretty major renewable energy deals. They've been involved in solar and wind power. There were some other deals along the way to help fund new natural gas plants in Canada. So they haven't been completely quiet in terms of the deals that they're doing, but maybe a little bit less out there.
And Buffett traditionally likes power, likes utilities, right?
Well, you know, he quipped a couple years ago that utilities aren't a great way to get rich, but they're a great way to stay rich. So, you know, maybe this fits into that.
Because they generate the money, they generate the cash flow.
Right, and on top of that, they have a real need to consume capital, which is a serious, you know, it's a good problem to have, but it's a problem that Berkshire does have.
And no, just on a final note, I mean, you know, you and I have been covering this, but you know, Buffett has done the Heinz deal. Now you've got this MidAmerican deal. What are some of the people saying in terms of what his next target could be? Where could it be?
Well, I mean, that's always the great mystery. He's shown over the course of his career that he's versatile. He can go into different industries, and as we look forward, I would expect more of the same.